This week on This and That Garage, well, the 65 C10 is back. And got bed size laying here. We got to make her an actual short bed. Now, I'll tell you exactly how I'm going to do it in just one moment. If you will recall, last time we worked on this old truck, we cut 12 inches out of the middle of the frame, 8 inches off the back. That made it a factory short bed spec. Well, you can't put long bed sides on a short bed. It'll look kind of goofy. So we got to cut these down too. 12 inches in the front, 8 inches in the back. I debated, well, when I first thought about this, I was going to do what everybody else does. They come, probably right here, make a mark, cut, 12 inches cut, and butt them together and weld it up. Well, I don't want that seam. I think it just looks ugly. I want it to be just like it came from the factory, but I wasn't sure if it could be done. I got to looking at it and like, yeah, I think it can be done. Well, I got on the old YouTubes and I found exactly 2 people that have done it like I want to do it. Watched their videos, got some pointers from them. That's what we're going to do. Basically, we're going to remove this end cap on the front and back, and then you got to cut it, and we'll see how this piece here is bent up at a 90. Got to do that, and then this is folded over here, spot welded. We got to do that. Same thing in the back, except this piece, it doesn't have a 90. The 90 is on this here. You had to cut these spot welds loose. Inside here, it's flanged. This cap, this whole piece here, that will go back. The stake pocket will go back. Speaking of stake pockets, we won't have this hole. I'm not sure if I want to put it back or not. Same thing up here. We can. I just don't know that I want to, because it'll never be used. So what we may end up doing is filling this hole in with a little patch panel, and then it'll be smooth, top of the bed. I ain't sure. We'll figure that out later. That ain't nothing major. But here's how you go about doing it. Well, let me flip it over and we'll go to marking and measuring and I'll show you. Flip her over, boys. Now I got her flipped over, and we know we want to take 12 inches out. So what you do is you start measuring 12 inches top to bottom. Let's just start down here at the bottom. Yep. There's a 12 inch right there. Might put them a little bit closer than that. I tell you what I might do. I need to work from both sides. I may go get some kind of sawhorses to sit these on. So like right now, I need to be over there. Let me do that. We'll raise this up, put my sawhorses under it, and that's how we'll work. Well, I decided to move it over here instead of under here because it's kind of dark. I need to get me some kind of lights that I can hang under here, if I need to work under here. But anyways, let's get back over here and get this thing marked out. This is not straight. It starts curving in right here at the top. Well, you need to follow that curve, and that's what I'm doing right here with my marks. Marking it at 12 inches all the way up and down. Now that we got all our lines made, we got to stretch us some tape out. I'm on the wrong side already. Sure am. You got to be on this side of your marks. I'll explain why here in just a minute. Now we start curving. So we got to curve our tape with it. Then we got to go back straight down this line right here. Tear me a piece off, wrap it around. There you go. We got us a mark where we need to cut. Here's why I put the tape on that side. Well, my mark is over here on this side. It's 12 inches from here to here. That's what we want to remove. But you got to remember, we got this little piece here that we're going to bend over as a flange, and we call it spot weld it back to that front cap piece. So we're actually going to be cutting on the left side of our tape. Yep. Then we'll leave this tape on, use that as a line to bend it over, and well, we got to punch holes in it first. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just cut this line real quick. Let us get us to cutting us on this side. Wrong. I done messed up, fellers. I've got my arrows which side to cut on the wrong side. Sure do. I tell you what. My brain is just, it's screwed up. We're cutting this side here. That would have been terrible if I had cut that on the wrong side. Yep. That's just in case I have to quit and go do something else. My stupid little pea brain will know, cut that side. All right, let's get to cutting. A lot of, I ain't say a lot, but there is some body filter right there. Let me scoot y'all to the other side. We got this side cut in two. It doesn't have to be exact because, you're bending it over. But anyway, you might be wondering, if we got our cut in two, why didn't it fall off? Great question, glad you asked. I got a flipper over and I'll show you. Well, there went my sawhorse. It just broke, so that's good. Yep, that's good. That's real good. Let me see what I can do with this. What in the world, man? Cheap plastic garbage, fellers. That's all you can buy nowadays. Anyways, let me get her flipped over. Ha ha! Ha! He! Hoo! Right there. Well, as you can see, we're double walled right here. This is all one piece. And then this goes up in here to that body line. That's one piece. We got to cut this piece. And, see, she's got a flange turned up here. We got to measure and cut accordingly. So let me get us some marks and tape laid out. 12 inches from the end. Right, cheers one. We'll put one on this side too. Then we take our tape and put it on the left-hand side of our marks for the same reason we did on the other side, because we got a flange we got to bend. About like that right there. Cut on the left-hand side, and then right here, our line is here. This line is here, or here. Well, if you look here how it's cut, we just cut across and then up. I might have to put a new wheel on to do that. I don't know if I can get in there. Yeah, I think I can. Anyways, let us cut. Now, only thing holding us is a little piece here, and I think a little piece here. Let me cut this real quick. I got to get on the other side. Excuse me. Squeeze me again. Now, what's holding it? Just a wee sliver right here. Let me see what I can do with that. And there we go. All right, looking at this piece here, I'm trying to figure out how to cut all this down in here. Well, it looks like it's just a straight cut from the end all the way over to, where we're going to bend. They leave a little bit of a lip. It don't really matter. So let me do some trimming right in this area here. I think we've got to cut it all the way over here and then up. And cut this piece out right here too. Not sure how I'm going to get cut down into that corner. I don't know. I'll figure that out in a minute. I got to trim this off over here too. I'm going to see if I can kind of make a bunch of cuts this way, and maybe we can get that cut out. I ain't sure how I'm going to do this actually. I got that little body saw. It would probably work pretty good on this, but let me see what I can do right here. We'll just twist her off. How about that? Ta-da! All right, let me get a grinder and take a sharp edge off, because that's just like a razor. Then I'll show you the next step. I want to lightly score this with my cutoff wheel on this side of the tape. I think it'll make it bend easier and straighter. Just a very, very, very light score. Next thing we got to do is make us some holes in this piece before we bend it up. Spot weld holes, because we got to weld it to the front cap here. But if you see, this is the old we just cut off. Well, we got a hole here and a hole here where it bolts to the front piece of the bed. I got it laid up here so we can avoid welding those holes, because we got to drill them back out. So we'll put one here, 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 and here. If you will recall, when I was working on the Jolly Green Giant, I bought this little feller here at Harbor Freight. I've never used it, so I don't know how good it's going to do, but I already tell I need to get this out of the way. So let me mark these two holes, then I'll get that out of the way. Approximately there. Approximately there. All right, let's see what this chomper will do. Will it put us a spot weld hole or not? Yep, sure did. It ain't deep as I want it, but I don't have no control over that. So let's just go with what we got. All right, that should be plenty of holes to spot weld. I bought these duck build vice grips just for this. Let's see how well it's going to bend. Of course, you can't bend it all at once. You got to go a little at a time. Now that's pretty straight, but not straight enough, so let me show you what we'll do next. Remember the hammer and dolly set I bought, to work on the Jolly Green? Well, here we go, fellers. We're gonna make her good and straight. Not bad at all. Now we gotta do, flip her over and work on this edge. Here's what we gotta do on this side. Of course, we gotta bend her flange down, but bending metal on this curve, well, unless you got a big press and die like they did this in, well, we gotta make relief cuts. They got a couple here, one here, just like a pie shape, and another one here, and I think a small one there. We're gonna have to make a whole lot more. And you see this little cutout here? I'm assuming that's for the front part of the bed to slide in, so we need to cut that out underneath here. I should have left her flipped over, but I might can do it right here. But that's what we're doing right now. I'm just gonna go through here and make a bunch of pie cuts. That way it's easier to bend and it won't try to flatten this metal out. We'll probably make one right in that area, just a straight cut. And then we're gonna come in here and do some pie cutting. Approximately like this. This don't really matter, fellas. You're not gonna see this. This will be folded in. So you can make several if you want to. About like that right there. We'll put a cut, straight cut right there. That's a pretty sharp bend here. We'll put us several close together. Make a straight cut down here. We'll do it underneath here and then we can work on that. But let me get these cut out. I flipped it back over because it's got razor sharp edges here, plus we'll go ahead and cut this out. Now what I'm gonna do is cut this piece out here. Let's just measure and see what we got. It's about 2 inches, maybe a little more from this edge. So, right? Yeah. So let's mark us 2 inches. It ain't no big deal if it's a little off. We can always trim it up, or it don't matter. Right on through there. If we mess it up, you know what, fellers? I got a welder. We can weld metal back. Let's do some punch-a-luncheon, man. If I can get that to go over it, what in the world? Might have to drill that one. Come on, man. The metal's a little bit bent. Well, what is going on here, man? This metal's thicker or something. I don't know what's going on. Might have to get the drill out. Let me get down there where I can see. Well, it'll do some of this metal over here. It may be because it's curved. I don't know. Anyway, let me fight with this a little bit and I'll get these punched and then we got to bend them up. All right, here's what we're doing now. We got to bend our flange down like we did on the other. Got to get on our line right there. Just go to bendy bending. A little bit of Bondo in this area here. Trying to make it as straight as I can. Yeah. I'm going to use regular old vice grips right here in this area. Only short pieces anyway. Oh, I got to put a cut right here. Got a body line right here. I forgot about that. All right, that's the first bend. Let me run through and bend them again. I'll be back. See if we can straighten around a little bit with this here. Hammer and dolly. There's about a close to 1/8 inch of Bondo right there. That's really messing that edge up. We'll have to do something with that. I got to cut a little piece out right here on this one here. Maybe a little bit right there and there because they're overlapping. And this end will be done. Now I need to pull the tape off and then run my grinder down through here and grind some of this paint off. Because this is the side we'll be welding on. Then we get to work on that little end cap. We've hit Bondo. Well, I know why our hole punch wouldn't fit over this now, because, well, there's at least a 1/16 of an inch of Bondo, probably a little bit more. From here, it's about right here on down. I don't know how far back it goes. Anyway, these get bent over a little bit more, but it's good for now. This end is ready. Let's go over here and look at the end cap, see what we got to do to it. Basically, all we want is this piece here. See this flange is bent over, that's got to be gone. This piece here's got to be gone. So we got to find spot welds in here and find them all. I can see them in here. Grind them out and get this piece. Let's grind right in this area here, see if we can find some. Well, if I'm seeing things right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Let me grind this side over here too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's one in there. I can't really see it. How are we going to do this? I don't really want holes in this piece. So what we can do, come in here and try to drill them out. Let's try that first. It's kind of hard to see the center of them. This one I can't really see. It's about, okay, right in that area there. Let me see what I can do with a drill bit first. Tell you what, yeah, let's do something different. Let's just get a grinder, or possibly this right here. That's what we'll do. Yep, we'll use this to grind that metal away. Where's my air hose? Let's see if this old chisel will knock this loose now. Oh yeah, there's one busted open. There's two. Actually, I think that busted about 3 or 4 of them. Oh yeah. Get this last one on the end right here. Ta-da! I got all them. Let me work on these a little bit. Best I can tell, there's one there, there. Not sure on there. Pretty sure there's one there though. There, there. Let me work on the ones that I know are there. All right, did I do any good? Can we get it tore apart? Oh yeah, there's 2 busted loose right there. Oh yeah, look at there. We done busted them all the way up here, man. Just by getting them 2. Awesome. Yeah. Now we gotta get this one right here. That was loose. Come on, man. I think that there broke loose. I think we got one more right here. By George. I think we got it. Oh yeah. Let me clean this up a little bit. Well, how's this little feller fit down in here? Let's see, it goes approximately right there. But you got a little body line you got to follow. Then I think if we start right here, get these little fellers here even, clamp that, and then bring this up to there, I think we'll be good. So let me go get a bunch of clamps. We'll go to clamp-a-lamping. Get this little feller even first. Don't cover up a spot. Wait a minute, wait a minute. I got tape right here I got to get off, and then I need to grind some paint away on this side. Now, put this little feller in here. That's where it's fitting. It don't slide back and forth, so I think let's actually start right here. That right there. But when I go to welding, I'll move the clamp along, you know, to hold them together. Anyway, let me get this here clamped. And, well, I'll tell you what, we got to bend that over a little more first. Let me get some clamps on here. I've never done this before, fellas, so I'm not real sure exactly, you know, the steps to do it. Learning as we go, that's what I do. Yep. All right, let me Let me get the hammer out. Whoop on this a little bit. Need one right there too, don't I? I can't get this in the clamp. There we go. Now, let me whoop on it with a hammer. Wait a minute, wait a minute. This in here ain't right. There we go. Wasn't quite down far enough. Ooh. Well, we're ready to weld the little feller back together. I got it clamped together pretty good. I got made sure, well, you can see back in here maybe. It's mashed down as far as it can go. At each spot weld, I'll put a clamp. Make sure I get that closed up real good. Let me drag the welder out and start welding it up. Oh yeah. Well, the Artez, here's a view from the side you'll never see once we get it on the truck. It ain't too bad. I wish it didn't have all this Bondo, but anyway, let's flip her over and see what she'll look like from the side we will see. Well, if it wasn't for the Bondo, it looks pretty good. Tell you what, let me hit it with a grinder, see if we can't smooth that edge up a little bit. That looks mucho better. Smoothing that edge off, where the Bondo is. And then, wherever I did my pie cuts, it was poking out a little bit. So I took my hammer, pecked it in a little bit, and straightened it out quite a bit. I'm pleased with it. Oh yeah, I guess now after I take my little break, we'll get down here, mark this and off, and go to cutting it. Well, let's start on the back end, I reckon. We got to mark 8 of the inches off here. Let me get on down here and get this last one. All right, let me get my tape out. Once again, we want to put our tape over here because we want to leave an extra inch and then bend it over. Let's get to cutting. Get out of my way, sirs and ma'ams. Flip her over, man. This one does not get a flange. This piece, the flange is already here, so we just go 8 inches from there and cut this line. Now, what am I going to do from here to here? Well, let's investigate a little bit. I'll tell you what, for now, we'll make a cut across here. No. Yeah, because we're keeping this piece. So we keep as much metal as we can, then if we need to cut some off, it's what we'll do. Yeah, we'll cut her right through there. Let's cutty cut! I gotta make this one cut right here. Ta-da! Now we gotta measure for this stake pocket. This right here is going back. So we gotta notch out this little area here. So, what kind of measurement do we have? It's a little under 3. So we'll go a little under 3, about right there. And then we need to cut it along that line there. We might have to trim that up a little bit, but let's get that out of the way. Them some mean burrs. I done cut my finger right there on one of them. Same thing here, fellas. We got to cut us little pie pieces out so we can bend it over. Well, let's do a little punchy luncheon. Making some holes for the spot welds. Oh, my knees! Did it punch? Oh, yeah. Now we gotta flip her over and grind the backside because that's where the weld's gonna come from on this end. Cool, man. Well, we got her flipped back over again. Now we get to do the bendy bends. Get them bent over. Approximately like that right there. See if I can get this little feller here bent over. I think I need to tighten that up a little bit. Yeah, I got to cut a relief in that because they're going to be overlapping. I'll do that in a minute. All right, got to make a relief cut. Right here, they're overlapping. Maybe right there, and then I think, yeah, down here. Let me do that real quickly. All right, I think that'll be all right. Where was the next one? Right in here. All right, let me hammer and dolly it real quickly. Actually, let's go ahead and take this tape off. Whoop the devil out of it, man. Just whoop the devil out of it. Ow! Oh, man. Oh, that hurt so bad. I stuck my finger right there in front of it. Daggum, that hurt. Let's not do that again. I need to cut a little more relief out of that right there. Well, this end right here, she's ready to go. So now what we got to do, come back over here to the table like we did a little while ago. Go to grinding out some spot welds. They are going to be, where are they at? I think they're along through here. And then you got these right here. Maybe some up in here. Let me go to grinding. Oh, wait a minute, I forgot. There's a bunch right in here. You have to remove this so you can get down in here to get these loose and then weld it back. So let's work on these right here first. I think I ought to remove this stuff here because I don't know exactly where those spot welds are. I don't want to tear this stuff up, so we'll just get it out of the way. Now let me see if I can figure out where these spot welds are. I don't see any. I'm gonna have to grind. I'll tell you what, this probably needs to go away too. So let me get that off and then I'll try to find the spot welds. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. Is it gonna turn? Nope. No, sir, it sure ain't. What in the world? I don't think this little feller's gonna come off. Oh yeah, it ain't turning. Nope. Well, that's gotta come off because it's attached to this. Let me work on this, I'll be back. I finally broke a little feller free. Get out of here, my goodness. Now that we got all that out of the way, I guess I just need to grind this paint away. But I don't see any spot welds anywhere. Now I think there's one here, here, not sure. Here's the thing, I can't hog these out with that carbide burr like I did the other because we got to keep this piece. The only thing you can do is drill them out a little at a time with a little bit bigger drill each time. Let me center punch them. All right, let me drill them out and then we'll go from there. Then cut my wrist, man. I'm bleeding to death. I'm not gonna go real deep. Let me get a little bigger drill bit. Now, let's see if I can get this separated some kind of way. Well, they just popped. Awesome. Let's see, there's one. It's gonna be one right in here. I figured there would be. I gotta try to figure out where it's at though. That one there broke, I think. Yeah. Well, I don't really know where it's at. Well, when I find this, and I'll be back, and hopefully we can get it apart. Well, I finally found it, and it's broke free. I was just slightly off. It was up this way, but I've mangled this, so we'll have to straighten it back out. But now what we got to do is I got to find spot welds in this, and then I think there's some up here, and this piece here should come off. So let me grind. Hopefully I can find these. These, I believe, are showing up pretty easily. Did it do any good here? There's one. There's one more. There's one more again. One more time. And one more for the last time. Now what's got me? I think here and in here. I'm doing a little rocket surgery. I gotta figure out where this one is. What did this do? Did it help us out at all? By George, I think I got that one right there. I think I got it, but this is stuck now. What am I gonna do here? Well, there we go. One thing left here is maybe one there, some in here. Let me work on this. I'll be back in a minute because this is probably gonna take me a minute. Well, I got these and these. I think there's some right in here and right in here. I don't know how I'm gonna get to them. I was wanting to save this area just in case, you know, we wanted to transplant it back and have our stake pocket. Let me figure out how to cut it. Probably we'll leave extra cut here. We'll just cut it on out here and see what happens. Let me get my cutter. Well, that didn't really help much, but yeah, it's got spot welds everywhere, man. I don't know how I'm gonna get this apart. Only thing I know to do is just cut it right through here. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna try not to cut this part, just that side of this. Well, that helped us out some more. It actually should come apart, I think. Ta-da! Look at there. Oh, we got a bolt. Got us right here. Well, I can cut that little feller off. All right, the metal broke. Cool. We got to keep that. We got to get this piece off of here. We got to have this. And let's see. Yeah, it was spot welded here. Let me work on this. Y'all done seen enough of this. I'll be back when I get this undone from this. Well, here's what I did. You know, we had that piece here connected. Well, I said, oh, whack. Yep, got it out of my way. Now I can see what I'm doing. Just got done cleaning this up, and you can see wherever your dark spots are, that's low spots, and that's your spot weld. So we got there, and there, and there, and there, and there. I think there. Probably there. Let me get these removed, and then we'll be ready to weld that on the bed side over there. 2 more spot welds to knock loose, and we'll be done with this. Ta-da! All right, let's clean this up real good. Now, I probably need to clean up some of this. Yeah, this side here, well, it's already ground, but it is kind of bent up, so let's straighten her up a little bit. All right, got that. What else? I need to straighten or clean this up right here a little bit too. Let's straighten up my mess. Let's go over there and weld a little feller up. We've been test fitting for a few minutes to see how it's going to go together. We got 2 issues. Number 1, see how thin this flange is here? How thick this one is? Well, my holes are up at the top, and they're not going to hit that flange there. So I got to come back and drill holes with the drill. And then this stake pocket, I got to cut this out right here for it to fit. And may have to do some more minor trimming, but let me get that done and then drill these holes out, and hopefully we can get it welded up. I can't get down in there, so what we're going to have to do is probably bend it till it breaks. Bendy bend till it breaks, hopefully. Oh yeah. Now do this fit? Well, we got to trim some more somewhere else. Got to go in just like that right there. By George, that's it right there. Sure is. Now I got to re-drill my holes here. Let me get that done. I'll be back. All right, got them re-drilled. I think we'll be okay there. Now what I'm gonna do is this ain't lining up, you know, because this bows down. Well, this part here does not bow. So I think what we'll do, start up here, get her lined up, get me 1 clamp in it, and then we'll go from there. Well, these are not gonna fit, so I'm in trouble. I ain't got but like 2, maybe 3 regular vice grips. Well, let me gather all them up. I got all my vice grips over here. Let's start at the top. Get it even. Get her even about right there. Clamp it in place. Just like that. About right there. It ain't gonna be perfect, but you know. This is backyard butchery stuff. It never is perfect. Now, It's dipping in a little bit right there. We'll have to work on that. Now this here, I got to roll it up a little bit. About right there. I'll just have to work it down as I go. Let me get this clamped, and when I get back, we'll step back and look at it, see what it looks like. Well, I have beaten, banged, and reclamped and unclamped, and it's about as good as I'm going to be able to get it, I think. So I'm going to start tacking, and I'll just have to move it around however. Let me get my welder drug over here, and we'll start working on it. Right or wrong, here we go. Last piece of the puzzle. Can we get it to fit in there? I don't know. We got a big gap right here for some reason. Let me get a piece of wood. By George, that did it. All right, let me get stuff clamped up. We'll go to welding it back, I guess. Let me get this done. It's 5 welds. I'll be back. Well, we got one side done of our short bed conversion. Don't look too bad. No, sir. I mean, this could be a little smoother, but I think what will happen is I'll hit her with some gray primer, and then once it dries, we'll scuff it up and give it a little bit of fake patina. Same thing down here. For whatever reason, I guess it's old paint contaminating it, but all my welds got little pits in them. I'll come back over them tomorrow and hit them again. Maybe they'll fill in. I'll grind it back down smooth. We'll do the same here. Hit it with some primer, scuff it up a little bit, give it some fake patina. I think we'll be okay. Yep. It looks pretty doggone good. Even this one down here. Tell you what, let's measure this one. Measure that one up there. This one should be 20 inches shorter. What do we have? We'll go on that edge right there to this one right here. Not to the very end, but to the seam. 98 and 3 of the 8ths. What do we have right here? Right here we got 78 and 5/8. Oh my goodness, fellas, we are a 1/4 inch over 20 inches. We got to tear it apart and redo it. Well, I reckon I don't know how to read a tape measure. We're a 1/4 inch off, man. I'm going to have to tear it apart, redo it. Absolutely not. I can live with it being a 1/4 inch longer than what it should be. Yep. I ain't worried about that at all. I'm just glad to get one of them done. Tomorrow, I will do the other half. I'm not going to show y'all, the whole process because you've already seen it. What I probably will do is give you a progress update every once in a while, let you know how it's going. Right now, though, I want to update y'all on some channel stuff. I actually recorded this at the beginning of the video, and I said, no, I don't want to do that at the beginning of the video, so I'm going to put it right here. And after y'all watch that, I'll see y'all tomorrow. If you will recall, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I told y'all change was coming to the channel. Well, here it is. Let me explain the first step of what we're going to change. The C10 here. It's a weeks long, possibly months long build. That will be no more. Here's why. Every time I start a new project, the first video of that project, I'll get 40 or 50,000 views. I can handle that. That's not bad. 50,000 will be basically double what I'm getting now. And yeah, I'm very pleased with that. If I could get every week. But anyway, people's attention span are, well, they're about that big. Yep. So that's why I'm having to make changes. They don't want to see me working on the same thing every week for a month or two, or they will want that project completely done within a week's time. That's just, it's not possible unless you're Chip Foose. Back in the day, and you had 100 people working on one car, you get it done in 5 or 6 days. Yeah, you could do it then, but you got to pay those people. That costs a lot of money. You can't do that. I'm a one-man show. I'm reminded of the car shows that used to come on Saturday. I guess they still do. I don't know. I don't watch TV much anymore. But those usually had 2 guys on camera. I think there were 30-minute shows. 2 people now, and then a bunch behind the scenes. Wouldn't get half done what I do in a week. And people love that. I don't know what's happened. People just, their attention spans are just terrible nowadays. I have to work accordingly because, like I said, this is a business. I got to treat it as one. The viewers do not want to see the same project week after week. So that's what's going to happen. We'll go from project to project. Eventually, we'll get them done. I personally don't want to do that, but like I said, I got to treat this as a business, and that's what I got to do to stay in business. Anyway, I just wanted to inform you all of that and let you know, because I like to let y'all know what's coming on the channel. Some people don't like that. Well, some do. This is for you. Till the next day, and, well, let me update you on this second bedside that we're shortening. The update is it's done. Yes, sir, it sure is. It's actually just turned dark. Well, here's why I ain't showed nothing today. It'd be redundant because you already seen it once. 2, last night I was editing the day's video footage. 4 or 5 hours into it, I was like, what in the world is going on? Why is it taking so long to edit this video? Well, I finally got done about 5 hours later, and I looked and saw that I think it's around 59 minutes. Yeah, I've never been able to video a full-length video in one day. I did it yesterday, sure did. But anyway, here it is. It's done. I finished it about 2.5 hours quicker. It's always quicker after you get the first one done. Plus, I didn't have no camera I had to deal with. Yeah, it went a lot faster. But it looks pretty good. I have not done the painting, the fake patina. I don't know how to really do that. Only thing I'm going to do is get some gray primer, just lightly spray here, and come back and start sanding it a little bit here and there. Maybe throw some dirt in it too. I don't know. I don't know how to do that stuff. Don't really care to know how to do that stuff, but we got to do it because, we can't have it looking like that. The other end looks pretty good. I got all the welds ground on it. Got her all smoothed up. Let me get my tape measure. We'll measure this one, see how close we are to that over there. I have not measured this yet. I think I was hooking it right there on that body line. The other one was 5/8. I remember that. Y'all look at here. That one there's 11/16. It's within a 16th of that nowhere. It's pretty doggone good. Yep. I'm happy with that. Sure am. 1/16 of an inch. I'll take it all day long, especially when we're doing some backyard butchery stuff. I'm leaving every step of this in, and here's why. I told y'all I found 2 videos of fellers doing this way, but they left a lot of steps out. I mean, a lot. So I figured this will be a tutorial for the future for anybody that decides they want to try this on is it a 62 through 66? I think it's basically the same procedure for others too. But here you go. Step-by-step procedure on how to do this. Pretty awesome. Next week, will we be working on this? Like I said, I don't know. Like I said, change is coming to the channel. Maybe, maybe not. That's all I can tell you. So I'll be waiting and looking for that. Anyways, appreciate y'all watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you don't mind, hit that like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. And until next time, go do something. Blur, blur.